The Barlow Bruins, 4-0 overall this season, 2-0 in Mount Hood Conference play, host the Gresham Gophers, 4th ranked in the state, 3-1 overall and 2-0 in conference play. The Barlow Bruins hoping to upset the perennial Mount Hood Conference champion Gresham Gophers. Looking downfield, that Strand. Strand's got a man open. Number 3 with it. Jimmy Jones going to catch it. It's a touchdown on the reverse. Mike Strand throwing the touchdown pass. Strand throwing the 44-yard touchdown pass to Jimmy Jones. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mount Hood Conference football. I'm Jim Sheely, and along with me is Chris Sullivan. And tonight, we're at Mount Hood Community College, where the Barlow Bruins are hosting the Gresham Gophers. It's Barlow's homecoming, and Barlow, on a total resurgence this year with new coach Jerry Williams, is 4-0 to begin the season. They're 2-0 in conference play, as are the Gresham Gophers. Chris, this is the big game in the Mount Hood Conference so far this year.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Jim. There's a lot of excitement in the air. There's a lot of people here wanting to see Barlow come and knock off, as you said, the perennial powerhouse in the Mount Hood Conference, which is Gresham. And you said Jerry Williams off to a great year as a first-year head coach. They're coming off 2 shutouts against Park Rose and Sandy, and they're ready to take it to the Gresham Gophers tonight.
Well, it should be an interesting ball game. Both teams really predicated on the run. The Gophers, however, have Curtis Loeb, who has done just an outstanding job in terms of passing, been able to mix up their offense. And as we saw last week against the Reynolds Raiders, they have a very diverse offense. They come out in a number of different sets, which is a little bit uncharacteristic of the Gophers. And then you have the Barlow Bruins, who depend on Willie Huffman and Livingston. They're 2 big running backs, and they can get right after people up front as well.
Well, there's no, Jim, you're right, and it's going to be a battle tonight in the trenches. Barlow's got a good defensive line, and the Gresham Gophers has a smaller but quicker offensive line, something that is not characteristic of a Gresham Gopher team. So it's going to be, once again, come down to the battle of the trenches in a night where the wind's howling. They're going to have to keep the ball on the ground because controlling the ball in the air is going to be tough tonight in this weather.
Well, ideal conditions out here at Mount Hood Community College, as normally is the case. But as you said, Chris, it's a little bit windy. I think that the ground game is really going to be the key, and how both teams handle the pressure. You know, this is really a big game. A tremendous crowd out here tonight, and with homecoming for Barlow. Of course, Barlow being in the Gresham district, it's a homecoming for a lot of people. And so it should just be a great inter-district and inter-conference rivalry. So we look forward to it, and we'll have first half action right after this.
A month, 2 weeks a year, adds up to one of the most rewarding part-time jobs you can get. The Air National Guard. Americans at their best.
Welcome back to Mount Hood Community College, where the Barlow Bruins are getting set to take on the Gresham Gophers. The Gophers, 2 years of undefeated play in the Mount Hood Conference, and hoping to extend that streak this year. I'm Jim Sheely. Along with me tonight is Chris Sullivan. Chris, welcome. First chance to get an opportunity to see the Mount Hood Conference, and I know, being an old Jesuit Crusader, this is a team. These teams are ones that always were big rivals in the Metro League as well.
Well, it always seemed when the Metro League got out of that first round of the playoffs, they always had to head east, and they always ended up losing to teams of the caliber of Barlow and Gresham. Got a little some bad memories from this side of town, but it's good to be out here. I like this kind of football, where you have to run the ball and you pretty much just line up and say, defense, stop me if you can. That's the kind of football they like to play, and I like to see it.
Well, both these teams now in the past couple of weeks have really put some points on the board. And I think, you know, one big thing is the diversity of the Gresham offense that we had an opportunity to see last week. They really have that ability to put the ball in the air. They have great receivers, John Valadez, Jimmy Jones. Those people can really go up and get the football. Curtis Loeb has done a great job of throwing the ball so far this year. Getting ready to kick off now. Number 15 for the Barlow Bruins, J.R. Miller. Getting ready to kick off. Deep for the Gresham Gophers, number 24, John Valadez, and number 36, Travis Churchill. And we're just about ready to go here at Mount Hood Community College. 2 undefeated teams in conference play. Miller to kick, and the game is underway. It's a short kick. Valadez bounces up. Valadez has to come up and cover the ball as the up man did not come up and get that, and a little bit of a mental error to start the game by the Gresham Gophers.
That's right, Jim. That ball's live once it crosses the 10-yard mark. And Valadez did a good job of hopping on that. He got a good hop on by the ball, and that could have been a costly mistake on the starting kickoff of this game.
That's really tough to start off that way. As the Gresham Gophers, a team that really is very poised, doesn't make many mental errors as they come up to the line. Curtis Loeb is at quarterback. Their backs are split. Ludwig takes the ball, number 42 straight ahead, Ryan Ludwig, and boy, I'll tell you what, he is a load. At 6'3", 220, Ludwig really does a fine job, not only of running the ball, but really of blocking, leading the hole, and that time he was the primary carrier. As the ball is marked on the 31-yard line, it'll be 2nd down and 3 now. 7-yard pickup on the play, and that time the quickness of the Gresham Gopher offensive line really opened up a big hole. Also in the backfield, number 1, Rich Nevis. This time to give us to Nevis as Ludwig does a great job right there at the point of attack. Ludwig with that lead block, as he did so well last week and he's done so well all season, breaking Nevis loose.
Yeah, that was a great play by Ludwig. He just led up out to the hole, kicked the defensive end out. That was just a great play.
Rich Nevis picks up the 1st down as the ball is marked now at the 43-yard line. The Gophers on their first possession here with 10:58 to go in the first quarter. Curtis Loeb at quarterback brings him up out of the I formation this time. Ludwig the up back, Nevis the tailback. Give us to Nevis as he follows that block and takes on right at the defense, and that time number 22, Ray Livingston, the tackler on that play.
Gresham Gophers early. Offensive line is doing some good things early. They're opening the holes. Their quickness is really starting to show. They're really making some really good holes, and Nevis and Ludwig have been hitting them hard.
Well, Coach Gary Stouts has done an outstanding job of preparing his team for every game, and this is no exception as they come out in this opening drive. Backs are split this time. Low back to pass, looking, got a man wide open. Jimmy Jones. Jones catches the ball. Quickly he's tackled, but not until he picks up that 1st down as number 42. Up there is Terry King to make the tackle. Be a 1st down as the ball is marked at the 46-yard line of Barlow. And the Gophers, you know, this is the thing they have done so well is they've mixed up that short passing game. That Jones and Valadez both have the ability and the quickness to go deep, but they mix up that passing game so well, that short passing game, to keep everyone, especially the linebackers, off of the line of scrimmage, allowing Ludwig and Nevis to just break the quick runs. Out of the I formation this time. Give us to Nevis. Nevis through the line of scrimmage and then stacked up immediately by a whole host of Bruins as their pursuit really, they do a very good job that time of recognizing the play and getting around Ludwig as he led through the hole.
Well, Gresham came out with a double tight end set with only 1 flanker wide to the near side of the field. Pretty much, I think Barlow pretty much knew that the ball was going to be coming on the ground, and they keyed off of Ludwig's block and took Nevis down, albeit after a gain of 3.
Of course, it's a big rivalry, especially for Rich Nevis, who played for Barlow for 2 years and transferred over to Gresham this year and is playing for the Gophers this year against his old teammates. We have a flag on the play as probably some movement in the line where the plane being broken. Looks like someone lined up offside, lined up in the neutral zone for the Gophers, so that will set them back. And it will still be 2nd down, however, now it'll be 2nd and about 11.
We have encroachment, offense, 2nd down.
Ball is marked right at the 46-yard line of the Barlow Bruins.
Now, Jim, that's a penalty that most coaches really do not like to see. It's just a mental error early in a big game, lining up off in the neutral zone. That's something that an offensive coach, especially the line coach, does not like to see.
They come out with a Jimmy Jones, a single man split to the right. Give us on the option. Loeb turns it up, makes a nice cut inside. Dipped that shoulder to the inside and then broke again to the outside as he kept the ball on the option. Nevis the pitchman that time, and he's very, very close to the first down.
Jim, the thing that made the play was Ludwig. That was a great fake to the dive man to lead that option. That was just a tremendous fake by Loeb, and he turned it, made a good option off the end like you have to do, and made a nice gainer out of it.
As you mentioned, Ludwig does so many things. I was so impressed, and of course he starts at linebacker and calls the defensive signals for him as well. And just an outstanding player, one of the finest players we've seen this year so far. And it is a first down. As you can see the work by our cameraman. Great job, guys, right there on top of it. And the ball is marked just inside the 36, not quite to the 35-yard line of Barlow now. So it'll be 1st and 10 as the Gresham Gophers continue on this initial drive. One thing that they have a tendency to do is they have a tendency to eat up the clock as well. Power eye pitches to Nevis. Nevis following his blockers around, trying to find a little bit of room as he squirts up at the last second there and picks up about 3 or 4, which looked like it was going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the Barlow defensive line did a good job, especially the defensive end, of stringing that play out. Nevitz, however, was able to turn the corner and make a 5-yard, 4.5-yard gain out of that.
So it'll be 2nd down and 6 now. 2nd and 6. Ball is marked right at the 31-yard line for the Gresham Gophers. Curtis Loeb at quarterback, number 7. Brian Ludwig, the up back, out of a power eye this time, or actually out of the wishbone. Ludwig gives straight ahead. Ludwig running over people, broke 2 tackles near the line of scrimmage, broke another one about 2 yards down and just would not be denied, and went down there and got the first down on just great power running. Brian Ludwig, number 42.
That's one of the better plays to run out of the full house option backfield, is to go to the dive man, because the defense has so much to worry about keying on the pitch man and the quarterback. And Gresham did a great time, following number 79, Jeremy Kingsbury, up there through the hole.
The Gophers going out of the full house backfield. Give us to Ludwig this time. And Ludwig just powering ahead. And this is just button your chin strap, knock them down type football, Chris. This is a situation where they're coming with double tight ends, full house backfield. And this is the kind of football that it's fun to watch, from time to time, to watch this type of football when we see so much wide open, just throw it up and run after it. This is just bust your nose type football, out of the wishbone this time. Oh, give us to Nevis this time. Nevis breaks a tackle. He's in for the touchdown. Rich Nevis just kept the old feet churning, and a 17-yard touchdown run by Rich Nevis at 6:59 of this first quarter puts the Gresham Gophers ahead 6-0. We'll take a look at the replay. Just a great job by Nevis. Really, he was stopped initially right there. The linebackers did a good job, but they didn't wrap him up, and he just kept his feet churning. And a good job by Rich Nevis as he celebrates there, and Rich Nevis now will attempt the extra point. Ball is placed down, it's up, and it's good. So the Gresham Gophers jump on top early, 7-0. A very impressive drive, Chris, as they march down the field, mix it up a little bit, but finally just go to lock them down and let's knock them over type football.
Yeah, Gresham showed a lot of double tight end, and just as you said, Jim, just line it up, come after me, baby. Is that the kind of football that John Madden likes to see? In the trenches, just come at me. And what really impressed me about Nevis so far is he's got tremendous leg drive. He, as you said, he was stopped there by the linebackers, and he just fundamental running. Just keeping the legs going, and he found his way in there.
I think that's really, an indication of as we see a lot of the fans here tonight, especially some Bruin fans who are a little bit frustrated right now, and I'm sure that they'll want to get things going here shortly. But the Gary Stout's staff, the staff at Gresham High School, has just year in and year out developed people that are just outstanding fundamentally and really do a fine job. Okay, kicking off for the Gresham Gophers, number 28, Andy Green. Green with a high kick will be taken by number 11, Phil Freeman. Freeman comes up and is met right at the 24-yard line. Good job. Number 21 down there very quickly for the Gophers was Alex Brown. And a whole host of other white shirts, but a good job of coverage that time as the ball hung up there, and they got down there very quickly. Phil Freeman, number 11, tackled at the 20. The ball will be spotted at the 25. Quarterback will be number 18, Terry Hurt. Give us to Livingston straight ahead. Correction, to Huffman straight ahead. 32 and 22 are the two running backs. 32 is Willie Huffman, 22 is Ray Livingston. The two leading scorers, in fact, in the Mount Hood Conference. Willie Huffman has 8 touchdowns, Ray Livingston 6 touchdowns. As they come up again, split backs this time. Hurt the quarterback. And movement in the offensive line. That'll set them back 5 yards as they were facing a 2nd and 9.
Looked like number 55, Jeff McKeel there, the left guard for Barlow.
Of course, that's the thing right now in a game like this. There's so much pressure and everything, and that's
Full start on the offense, 2nd down.
Our referee, Harold Bouget, tonight. Hurt it, quarterback. Huffman, the lone back. Hurt to pass, looking down, has a man open but overthrows it, and coming across very quickly, number 24, John Valadez, to knock it away. And had Valadez anticipated a little bit better, he might have had a chance to intercept that.
And the thing that was so important about that play that Valadez actually did have a play on the ball was the defensive pass rush of the Gresham Gophers. They got in and we were able to put some pressure in there on Terry Hurt, and made him rush the ball just a bit.
So the Bruins now facing a 3rd and 14. Ball is marked at the 20. Hurt back to pass. Again, pressure up in his face, and a good effort that time. The closest man was Jimmy Jones, number 3, the defensive back, as the pass looked like it may have been intended for Phil Freeman, number 11, but Jones was the closest person to the ball, so the Barlow Bruins are going to have to punt away on their first series here as the Gresham Gophers hold. Back to kick will be number 15, J.R. Miller. Deep. John Valadez, 24, the up man. Jimmy Jones, number 3, the deep man. There you see Miller getting ready to punt. Good snap. Miller gets the ball away. Good kick this time. Ball carries down, takes a good bounce, and goes out of bounds. So a very nice kick that time by J.R. Miller. And, you know, right now, Chris, that's a tough thing to do with this wind the way it is blowing. You really have to play the wind. And although it's coming a little bit out of that direction, he had a little bit at his back. He really took advantage of it. As you see some of the crowd here tonight, boy, what a great crowd on both sides of the field tonight.
Another thing that was pretty impressive about that punt was number 28, Andy Green for Gresham, was driving in off the corner and had a pretty good play to try and block that punt. There's a lot of pressure on there.
1st and 10 for the Gophers. Ball's at their own 38-yard line. Give inside, there's a fumble. Oh no! Curtis Loeb does a great job that time, kicking it out. Travis Churchill ends up with a 1st down. It looked like a belly play, and at the last second, Loeb pulls it out, pitches to Churchill, and Churchill goes down and picks up 10 and a 1st down on the play. Excellent job by Curtis Loeb.
Once again, that using the option to the best of its ability, just riding that dive back to the last possible minute, and Loeb, here you get to see the replay. Loeb goes in, fakes there to Ludwig, and then pitches it out to Churchill, and Churchill drives and just makes his way for a 1st down.
Good job that time. Triple receivers to the right now. Lone setback is Ludwig, and Ludwig is tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. And we saw this last week also. Whenever they come out in triple receivers, for the most part, they always ran. And what they were trying to do is just simply split the defense, and they used it as a decoy. However, in talking with Gary Stouts, they do have a number of pass plays off of their trips or their triple receivers one way or the other, but we've yet to see them use it. So it's 2nd and 9 now. Ball is marked just Gopher side of the 50-yard line. They're still in their own territory with 4:42 to go here in the 1st quarter. I formation this time, option down. Loeb tries to get it outside, and the option man is picked up by Barlow. Barlow wrestling and fighting over, and I think Barlow has recovered. Yes, they did recover as a first man in there tried to pick it up and run with it, and he fumbled it. But an ill-advised pitch that time by Curtis Loeb, as Rich Nevis, the pitchman, was actually being tackled by the defense.
That was a great play by David Douglas, number 7 for Barlow. As here you take a look at it, Loeb comes out there, tries to make the pitch right there, but number 7, David Douglas, had already tackled the pitchman. A great fundamental play by the defense.
So the Barlow Bruins with a big break as the ball is marked at the 36-yard line here. Terry Hurt back to pass, looking downfield, has a man, and overthrows his intended receiver, Phil Freeman, as the ball goes out of bounds. And Hurt hurried that one a little bit that time, Chris. He really didn't have to. He had pretty good protection up front and got the ball out a little bit quicker than I think he wanted to.
The pattern was there. That was just a nice quick little hook to the outside, little timing pattern. He's just, I think, a little bit nervous here with time dwindling in the first quarter. Emotions still running high.
Spielman split to the left. Freeman flanked right. Hurt back, looking for Spielman on the inside. Nice job. Very good pass that time, right on the money, and Spielman with a nice catch. Number 80, James Spielman, doing a nice job of catching that ball as Hurt delivers. And I think that's something probably Coach Jerry Williams wants to get Terry Hurt a little bit of confidence in his passing game, because they feel that they're going to have to throw the ball in order to move it up and down the field.
And they might as well, because the Gresham defensive backs are 10 yards off the receivers.
Roll out to the right is Hurt on the run, and coming up very quickly, John Valadez making the contact along with number 68, Mark Stockton. Terry Hurt on the rollout that time.
You have that one.
Just came out with everybody in front of him. The ball is marked at the 18-yard line now of the Gophers as the Bruins now begin to put together an impressive drive. Be second down and 6 from the 18. Hurt at quarterback. Huffman and Livingston, the 2 running backs. Hurt back to pass again, straight back, looking down. And the ball is overthrown as Spielman got his feet twisted up. He looked inside. The ball actually was going to the outside, and as he tried to adjust, looked like he tripped up a little bit, and the ball went over his head. So it looks like the Bruins are bound and determined to establish their passing game tonight, as Huffman and Livingston, of course, have been the 2 leading scorers in the league, but they really have not gone to their running game that much so far this evening.
What they might be trying to do is stretch that Gresham defense a little bit and then set up the run with their 2 best players.
Huffman, the lone running back. Hurt rolling out to the left, looking down, and pressured immediately. Number 89, Troy Noggle, is right in on top of him, and that created some real difficulties there for Terry Hurt as he came out to the outside. So it'll be 4th down and 6 now. And in to try a field goal, J.R. Miller. Ball will be spotted at the, we'll call it the 25-yard line. So that'll make it a 35-yard field goal attempt. 3:03 to go here in the first quarter. Holding will be number 11, Phil Freeman. J.R. Miller. Ball is up. It looks like he has enough distance. And it's over and good. So the Barlow Bruins break the ice and are now on the board with a 35-yard field goal at 2:58 here in the first quarter. The Barlow Bruins now trail 7-3 after that 35-yard field goal by Phil Freeman, or excuse me, J.R. Miller. Freeman was the holder on the play. And fairly impressive in this windy setting, although it's at his back a little bit, but a nice job of getting the ball down. Good execution of the field goal attempt that time by the Bruins.
And the Bruins did really well, did some things well on that series, and then did some things not so well, but they were able to capitalize on that fumbled pitch that was, as you said, Jim, ill-advised.
I think now that the Bruins are on the board, I'm sure that, they have the ice broken. They have to feel a little bit better and have a little bit of confidence that they can put some points on the board as well. We know from the past couple of weeks that they've definitely been able to put points on the board, but now it's a matter of them getting confidence against a top quality team like Gresham. And it's very important to be able to score at some point, especially here, to counter a score by Gresham, the touchdown that they had. So kicking off will be Miller. Deep, Travis Churchill. and John Valadez. This will be Churchill will take the ball, brings the ball straight up the field, tries to find the little seam, finds someone that keeps his legs going. And I'll tell you what, Churchill is no slouch himself in terms of a runner. He did a great job there. He was actually hit at about the 23 and carried the ball all the way up to about the, we'll call it the 29-yard line, where the Gophers will take over 1st and 10 at their own 29. And the Gophers, of course, hoping not to create any, or to have any mistakes like they had in that last series, where really more of a mental mistake of when to pitch the ball and when not to for Curtis Loeb. Out of the I formation this time, power I with a wing back to the right. Give us to Nevis. Nevis gets around the corner and then turns it up on the inside back against the grain and picks up about 3 on the play. We'll call it 4. So it'll be 2nd down. 2nd and 5. Actually got 5 on the play. The ball is marked at the 34-yard line now.
Again, that was number 7, David Douglas, for Barlow making the play. Of course, he was the man who held up Rich Nevitz on that fumble pitch for Gresham's only turnover of the game.
Lowe brings him up to quarterback. Out of the I formation this time. Nevis the tailback. Ludwig the up back. Back to pass. And swarmed under immediately is Curtis Loeb. Great pressure on the outside corner that time. Number 22, Ray Livingston, right in his face, does a very good job. Also there was number 7, David Douglas, but Livingston was the guy that was right in his face and did not allow him to get the pass off.
Here you get a chance to take a look at it. Loeb sets up and then just does not have a chance to get rid of the ball as Livingston comes there to deliver the blow just as he is getting ready to pass.
So it'll be 3rd down and 9 now. 3rd and 9 as the ball is marked at the 30-yard line. So Barlow Bruins rising to the occasion defensively now. Low back to pass. Looks like they're trying to set up the screen. Gets the ball away. And a great defensive coverage that time. Phil Freeman, number 11. Really laid a lick on 32, Troy Flores. Nice job of defense that time by the Barlow Bruins.
Yeah, Gresham came out in what looks to be a form of the run and shoot that time. 4 receivers brought 1 in motion, and Barlow did a great job covering downfield, as you said.
Well, it looked like they tried to almost set up a screen the way that the defensive lineman got in there. A little bit of confusion in the Gopher group. They didn't have enough folks on the field, so Rich Nevis, the punter, calls a timeout, and that'll be the first timeout for the Gresham Gophers. Let's take a look at the Associated Press poll this week in the state. You can see South Medford, South Salem, and Sunset, and there's number 4, Gresham. And number 5, the Jesuit Crusaders. Oregon City, Glencoe, Ashland, Jefferson, and then Lake Ridge, the one team to beat Gresham this year, tied at 10 with Roseburg. Number 14 down the list of ways is the Barlow Bruins, who are really taking make some people sit up and take notice right now with the job that they've done. And there we see the Mount Hood Conference standings as both Barlow and Gresham undefeated, along with the David Douglas Scots in league play. The Scots hosting the Reynolds Raiders tonight in another big game in the Mount Hood Conference. But this is the big one, the Bruins and the Gophers. Back to punt is Rich Nevis. Deep, number 11, Phil Freeman. Nevis gets a kick away against that wind. The ball bounces around a little bit, but he gets a great roll. Great bounce and a great roll, and it goes all the way down to the 20, we'll call it the 28-yard line. So a good punt that time by Rich Nevis as he gets the favorable roll. So with 52 seconds to go here in the first quarter, 7-3 in favor of the Gresham Gophers. The Barlow Bruins will have another shot at trying to get some points on the board. And we mentioned, Chris, the last couple of weeks, they have put 42 and 41 points on the board in their last 2 ball games and not been scored against in their 2 league games. So there's no question that they have a very potent offense. Jerry Hurd at quarterback. Livingston and Huffman, the 2 running backs. Give us to Livingston. Livingston comes outside, and there is nothing there as the Gresham Gophers, as a group, did a great job. Led by 67 in there was Todd Van Hee. Very good penetration by the Gophers as they met that play right at the line of scrimmage. A pickup of just 1 on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 9. Ball is at the 29-yard line. Split backs this time. Freeman in motion. Give inside to Livingston, and the Gresham Gophers are not to be fooled on that. They really do a good job of staying at home, executing their position, and then waiting to read what happens. Good job that time.
There you see Ludwig again. As you said, Jim, as the first quarter comes to an end, they've been doing a good job of staying at home. As you said, Gresham is a well-coached, fundamentally sound football team on both sides of the ball.
Let's take a break, and we'll be back with second quarter action right after this.
I come from a railroading family. My great-grandfather was a boilermaker, my grandfather a switch engine foreman, and I worked summers for the railroad. So I understand the fear and frustration of seeing someone on the track and not being able to do anything about it. The people in this cab are professionals, but they can't stop this train quickly. Before you cross any railroad track, look, listen, and live.
Welcome back to Mount Hood Community College, where we're beginning the second quarter action. Terry Hurt at quarterback. The Barlow Bruins. Hurt straight back to pass. Looks downfield, and he has his man, number 7. That's David Douglas, wide receiver that time. Terry Hurt, right on the money. As David Douglas makes the catch. Ball will be marked at the 41-yard line, and a first down for the Barlow Bruins.
Jim, one thing I've noticed so far on both sides, both defensive teams, they're laying off the wide receivers a good 8 to 10 yards off the ball, so that short pass will be open on both sides for the whole rest of the game, I would imagine.
Lone running back is Willie Huffman.
Quick
pass this time. Ball gets out there. Give us to Freeman, and Freeman hit by Valadez, Ludwig. Whole host of folks out there. 33 also in on the play was Sean Nielsen. But a pickup, we'll call it 5. Second and 5 now as the ball is marked at the 46-yard line of Barlow, and the Bruins are moving in and out of the huddle. They're actually a little bit quicker to line up than the defense. Quick pitch to the outside, fumble. Livingston picks it up, however, and does a pretty good job of making something out of what could have been a disastrous situation as he picks up about 3 on the play.
That kind of play will give Jerry Williams headaches and heartaches all night. Livingston went with the bounce to try and pick up the ball and got a favorable bounce, but 9 times out of 10 that ball's not going to come up right in his breadbasket like it did that time.
Very fortunate. It'll be 3rd and 2 now. Give us to Huffman. Huffman straight ahead for the first down, and there's that running game of the Barlow Bruins. And of course, really, if they can mix things up the way that they are right now, that really makes them tough to stop, because the Gophers can't load up either on the pass defense or against the run.
Yeah, but those 2 short completions that Hurt had stretched the Gresham defense just a bit, allowing the running game to now start taking effect.
Ball on the 47-yard line of Gresham. Bruins march into Gresham territory now. Pass is thrown, and that was just a totally blind pass. Hurt never really did look at the receiver. He faked inside and just threw it as far as he could over the head of David Douglas, who was streaking down the left sideline. Good coverage that time by the Gophers.
It's not a bad play to throw on first and 10 and go deep. Keeps the defense honest, and once again opens up even again those shorter passes, because they have shown you the capability of going deep.
Hurt brings him up again, 2nd and 10. Looks outside. Ball is delivered to Livingston, but very quickly the defense recovers, and again there's that man, Brian Ludwig, number 42.
Ludwig just stood up Ray Livingston on that one. Another example of fundamentally sound, great open field tackling. Went right for the middle center of gravity of his man and just made a great play. Livingston had nowhere to go.
So it'll be 3rd down and 7 now. 3rd and 7 for the Bruins. Freeman comes in motion. Fake is to Freeman to the outside. They hit Huffman on the short little drag pattern there, and Huffman does a nice job, but a very good fake that time by Terry Hurt to Phil Freeman. What looked like a reverse, and they hit Willie Huffman, and Huffman has the first down. So a good job of execution by the Bruins that time. As they're able to get their first down, ball is marked at the 31-yard line, and they're on the move. This is Freeman, and they do give it to Freeman this time, and not to be outdone, Todd McLean is in there, number 47 from the Bruins, and he does a nice job of staying at home. And of course, that's really one of the key things that has to be done when you have a situation like that, and we'll watch it on the replay. You have to have your defensive end stay at home.
There's McLean, just came right in on the inside of the block and just made the play. He read his keys the whole time, the offensive lineman, and just was there in the backfield to make the play.
Split backs this time. Hurt straight back to pass. Looking downfield and almost intercepted, as I don't think he ever saw Brian Ludwig right in the middle. Ludwig steps in front, and if he wouldn't have been that close to the ball, I think he might have had a shot at intercepting that, but that thing was a bullet and bounced right off his hand. So
I don't know how Terry Hurt could have missed Ludwig. He's quite a hefty boy out there. He's a good athlete, well over 223 pounds. It's hard to miss a target that big.
Third down now and 16. Crucial down here for the Barlow Bruins. Freeman comes in motion, fumble on the snap. Hurt covers it up immediately, and that's really unfortunate for the Bruins because they had done so well marching down the field, and J.R. Miller now will come in to punt. As facing that wind now, he will not quite have the help that he had earlier on that great 35-yard field goal that he kicked a little bit earlier.
However, Barlow did show Gresham a few things, and they've started to open up their offense a little bit, so Gresham has to be a little bit more wary on defense now.
Back deep is Jimmy Jones, number 3. Good kick again as he goes for the corner, and a nice job, very good job. J.R. Miller doing a great job of punting. So ball goes out of bounds on the 8-yard line. So excellent job by J.R. Miller. Put that ball out, and it may be even closer to 7. We'll wait and see where they finally mark it. It is on the 8-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Gresham Gophers, deep in their own territory. And this is something that the Gophers are not always used to, is having to dig out of their own territory like this.
And if Barlow can put a stop on them here, Barlow could put themselves in some good position for the offense if they could stop them here.
Loeb at quarterback. Ludwig and Nevis, the running backs. Give us to Ludwig straight ahead, and it looks like the Bruins may have solved a few questions anyway in terms of being able to stop Brian Ludwig.
Seems now that Barlow is starting to key on him a little bit. Gresham might want to now start looking to misdirection, going with the second back, and maybe throwing the ball up a little. Curtis Loeb does lead the league with 8 touchdown passes, so he does have an arm. He can throw the ball. So it might be time for them to mix things up a little bit, just as Barlow did on their last series.
Travis Churchill reports in as they go to the I formation with double tight ends this time. Give us to Nevis, the I back. Nevis straight ahead. Picks up about 3 or 4 on the play. As it looks like now they're just going to try to get themselves out of the hole, as it's 3rd and 5 now. Ball is marked on the 13-yard line. 3rd and 5 for the Gresham Gophers. We have 7:02 here to go in the second quarter. The Gresham Gophers leading 7-3. Loeb brings him up. Split backs this time. Loeb straight back to pass, and he's pressured immediately as the penetration of the Barlow Bruins that time in there very quickly. Number 45 for the Bruins. That was David Bonner.
Bonner came in straight out of his linebacker position on a blitz that time. He showed blitz, came up to the line of scrimmage, and just beat the offensive lineman and the and the running back, and got to Loeb there for the sack.
Nevis to punt now. Freeman the deep back. Low liner end over end kick. Takes another good bounce. Freeman fields the ball on the 50 and is turned back. Finally taken down on his own 46-yard line. So pretty good coverage that time by the Gresham Gophers on a kick that really was kind of a wind ball. Low liner against the wind, end over end, took a great bounce for the Gresham Gophers, and the Gophers covered very well.
Valadez did a great job getting down there, getting a hand on the return man and able to wait for pursuit to come and finish him off. Kicking game early has made a difference here in this ball game.
Really has. And on this exchange now, the Bruins actually come out ahead, so they will have the ball. 1st and 10 on their own 46. Terry Hurt at quarterback. Huffman, Livingston, the 2 running backs. Hurt straight back to pass. Looks downfield and great catch that time. Number 7, David Douglas. Just the ball was really overthrown actually, and Douglas went up in traffic and hung on to it. Super job by David Douglas, number 7.
Terry Hurt throwing into double coverage that time. The ball a little high and a little behind David Douglas, but great hands, great catch.
Single back this time. Double receivers out to the left. Freeman now comes back in motion. Hurt looks, and this is Freeman to the outside, and very quickly coming up, number 3 is Jimmy Jones. Does a good job on the coverage as Freeman picks up about 2 or 3 on the play, but he paid the price on that one.
The Gresham defense is starting to tighten things up on the outside now. They had been giving Barlow an 8 to 10 yard cushion on the outside. Now they're tightening things up as Barlow has hit them with a few short passes. So now Barlow has a chance to maybe go for something just a little bit longer.
Single setback. Hurt gives to Willie Huffman, the running back, and Huffman bursts very quickly beyond the line of scrimmage, but the pursuit of the the Gresham Gophers is right there. It looked like it was going to be a much bigger game than it turned out to be, as there was a tremendous hole there, but Gresham recovered very quickly to put the hit on him and make it 3rd and 4 now. 3rd and 4 for the Barlow Bruins. Ball is at the 35-yard line of Gresham. Split backs this time. This is Livingston. Livingston not able to get loose, and I tell you what, defensively, the Gophers are doing a great job up front. They're really doing a good job of defeating the blocker and then getting into the backfield.
That really was a well-designed counter play by Barlow. Number 77, Jason Tutikian, was able to snuff it out and make the play.
Back to punt, J.R. Miller. Jimmy Jones, deep man, high snap. Miller, and the ball, there was a fair catch call.
Looked like the ball bounced off number 7 of Barlow. David Douglas hit him right in the helmet, not allowing Gresham to catch the ball on the fair catch.
There was a fair catch call signaled for by the up man, and the Barlow man did get in the way and did not allow it to happen, and consequently it bounced out of there, and Barlow picks it up and advances it, but we'll see what the officials decide. We'll watch the replay here. Poor snap, and Miller comes out, and he actually kicked it left-footed that time, a nice spiral. The man came up trying to make the fair catch, and it was David Douglas who got in the way because it was a short kick. He was trying to come up, and he got in the way that time, and so we'll see what they call here.
Illegal substitution on the defense. We got interference over here. We're gonna wipe it off. 4th down.
So you can understand that a little confusion there on both parts. So Barlow will have to re-kick, and they'll replay the down now as penalties offset with 3:37 to go here in the half. Bruins still have 4th and 4 now.
It's really a shame for Barlow because Gresham did have a penalty on that play as well. Might have been able to tack that onto the end of that punt.
Well, depending, it could have been also a 1st down for Barlow had there been. You know, that could have been a situation where the Bruins could have picked up an easy 1st down with the penalty, but whatever. We'll reload and tee it up again. J.R. Miller to punt. Again, a high snap, does a nice job of handling it. End over end kick this time as the ball rolls, and again, just a perfect punt. Out of bounds, it looks like on about the 2-yard line, as J.R. Miller is just keeping the Gophers deep in their own territory. Able to put it out on the 8-yard line last time. This time he puts it out and the ball will be marked at the 2-yard line.
Miller, of course, having the 3 points for Barlow with that field goal of 35 yards. He's done it all. And this kicking game, as I said before, is very important, and it's shown itself early.
Out of the I formation, the Gresham Gophers now backed up in their own end zone. Loeb looks over the top, looking for a man that was lined up at the wingback spot, number 25, Alan Carr. And good penetration, good quick penetration by Barlow. Barlow's not really that big up front, but they're a team that has to utilize quickness, and they've been able to do that tonight to really keep Gresham off step.
Looks like Barlow's defensively is going to take a few chances here, pin their ears back and go for the quarterback, go for the quick play, and maybe try and push Gresham back into the end zone for a safety.
Double tight ends again out of the I formation. Jones a lone split man. And that time, going on the longer count, Curtis Loeb doing a good job, and the Gophers holding still that time, as it appears as though the defense jumped. As you mentioned, they wanted to lay their ears back and go after it. And it is a 5-yard penalty against the Bruins, so that'll bring up now 2nd down and 5.
But more importantly, Jim, that brings the ball out to the 7-yard line. Gresham's got a little bit more room to work there, backed up into near their own end zone.
Ball now will be marked at, we'll call it about the 7-yard line. Loeb brings him up. Again, double tights. Give is to Nevis, he does get around the outside, cuts back against the grain, and you know, he really had something set up on the outside. I think maybe that was a time when he would have just been a little bit more patient following his blockers out there. He had 2 or 3 folks on the outside, and he might have been able to get that 1st down. As it is, it's going to be 3rd down now, 3rd and 2, a short 2. Ball is marked at the 10-yard line. And the Gresham Gophers facing a big play here with 2:53 to go in the half. Would like to get this ball out of the shadow of their own goalpost so that they could, if nothing else, punt the ball away and keep the Bruins at bay. Full house this time. Give us to Ludwig straight ahead, and Ludwig is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage, and I do not think that he made it there, Chris.
That was a great play by number 50, Sean Fee, defensive tackle. Just defeated his man on the line of scrimmage. Tackled Ludwig right where he stood, no gain.
And that's a big play for the Barlow Bruins as they force Gresham now to punt on 4th and 2. Nevis back to kick. Freeman, return man. And Freeman picks up the ball now, starts running, called for a fair catch. And a little bit of confusion there in terms of Phil Freeman. Almost, if he would have taken off and run, that would have been a penalty. But needed a traffic cop out there to get things straightened out.
Freeman just being a little bit anxious. Called for the fair catch, wasn't exactly sure what he wanted to do with that ball. Once he had a chance to field it, he thought he might just kind of wave off that fair catch, see if the referees might just let it go.
So the ball is marked at the 46-yard line of Barlow. Same place they took over on their last series. Terry Hurt at quarterback. Huffman, Livingston, the 2 running backs. Hurt rolling to his left this time, and he is sacked immediately in there. Number 47, very quickly, Todd McLean. McLean has done a great job of blitzing the quarterback tonight and keeping a lot of pressure on Terry Hurt as that clock continues to run with 1:50 now to go here in the half. So it'll be 2nd down and 16. Todd McLean, number 47, out of his defensive end position, doing a great job of penetration that time. Huffman, the lone running back. Livingston in the slot. Quick pass to the outside, and that time I think number 80, that's James Spielman, might have heard a few footsteps that time. There we see James, and coming up very quickly was Jimmy Jones, number 3.
It's true, Jones did have a beat on him. He was going to put a hurt on him, I tell you that, and I think that might have just caused a little bit of stiffness in the fingertips on that one. A ball that should have been caught, but still, I think emotions are still running pretty high.
3rd and 16 now at the 40-yard line of Barlow. Hurt straight back to pass. Looks down, looks for his receiver, has a man outside as the defensive defensive back, Jimmy Jones, tripped on the play. And that time, David Douglas looked like he might have been able to keep his feet and run under it. He dove, and actually, I think may not have taken the best decision right there. Probably could have run under it and got his hands on it. But a good effort anyway by David Douglas. Well thrown ball by Terry Hurt that time.
The Bruin offensive line doing a great job that time, giving Hurt all the time he needed to get that ball away. And he put it right where it had to be, on the outside where only the receiver could catch it.
J.R. Miller, deep to punt. This time he gets cooked with his right foot. Jimmy Jones, receiver, calls for the fair catch.
And we've got a flag coming in here late at the back end of that play.
Let's see what the call is. Let's wait to hear what the officials have to say. There was a little contact away from the ball, so we'll wait and see what they decide to do.
Play. Clipping. Over here.
Be a clipping call against the Gresham Gophers.
Instead of having the ball 1st and 10 on the 27, they're going to be back 15. And that's not where they want to start off with only a minute 14 left to go in the first half of play. Well, it looks like they might actually be re-kicking.
Evidently, they called it before a change of possession. So, because of the fair catch, evidently it occurred before the change of possession.
Well, it looks, it was 4th and 16. With that penalty, it may set up a short 4th and 1. And Jerry Williams might elect to try and go for it and put another score on the board with time dwindling here in the first half, depending on where Pujay decides to spot the ball.
I don't know what they're doing. There's a little confusion as to what the call is here. So it looks like they're going to take the penalty. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen here. It looks like there will be a change of possession.
Over here is refused. It's first down.
They refuse. I'm not sure. I don't really understand that particular call. I guess we'll have to maybe try to get that cleared up a little bit later, Chris. I don't really understand why they would refuse a clipping penalty like that, but whatever the situation, the ball is started at the 27-yard line of the Gophers with, as you said, 1:14 to go.
Lob calls for a timeout. There's still all kinds of confusion going on, not only by the players and the coaches, but by the officials as well.
There's still some discussion going on, and we'll have to wait and see what is finally decided here as the officials are conferring, as you mentioned. The Bruins are conferring, the Gophers, everybody. I mean, this looks like the UN here.
I understand the hot dog and concession people are actually having a forum as well discussing this play.
Well, we'll see whether the hot dogs or the buns win. Let's take a look at the scoring leaders. After 4 games in the Mount Hood Conference, you can see that 5 out of the 6 players are all from Gresham and Barlow, and 2 of the top 4 quarterbacks are also from Gresham and Barlow. So well represented in terms of the outstanding players in the league here tonight. Huffman and Livingston, with that 42 and 41 point outburst by the Barlow Bruins in the last 2 games, really have dominated the scoring so far in the Mount Hood Conference. Loeb brings them up. Back to pass. Tries to get the ball quickly to Jones. Jones gets the ball to the outside, cuts back inside, gets around one man, heading towards the sideline and gets out of bounds. Jimmy Jones with a very nice run that time and a good decision to get out of bounds and stop the clock immediately.
Again, he did make the right decision the second time he had it. When he made that was just a short hitch play to the first man out there in the flat. And his first initial move was to cut back into the playing field, but he was able to skate outside and get out of bounds to stop the clock.
1:04 here to go in the first half. Lowe brings him up again out of the run and shoot set. Back to pass, looking down, Jones catches the ball again, does a nice job racing towards the sideline, and he stays in bound, but it is a first down. So the clock will stop while they move the chains.
That was a well-designed play there by the Gophers. They brought the two men to the near side of the field. They ran them across, one on a post, one on a hitch. And Jimmy Jones able to sneak across the middle on sort of a drag play from his wide receiver position on the far side of the field. Well-designed pick play there, and got a nice first down out of it.
Out of the shotgun this time. Lots of pressure over the middle, wide open. Good job, gets to the outside, breaks one tackle, gets back, cuts to the outside again, fighting for the sideline and out of bounds. Number 24, John Valadez. And there's our two little receivers, both turning in excellent performances. Jimmy Jones and John Valadez, and that time Valadez doing a good job of getting around the outside of the defensive back, able to take the ball all the way down to the 22-yard line. Watch it here on the replay. Loeb, nice pass with it. Good catch that time by Valadez as well. Good block there. Valadez looking for the out of bounds. It gets to the out of bounds. Out of the shotgun again. 38 seconds to go here. Lots of pressure being applied over the middle. And that time almost the second receiver coming up with the ball, number 25, Alan Carr, as it went through Valadez's hands.
Looks like Barlow's kind of hanging back in a zone defense. The linebackers really weren't locking onto the running backs, and that's where they got into trouble on that last play. But here, I think they've got to tighten up and go a little bit man-on-man and hope they can stop Gresham here.
Sean Nielsen, the wide out to the right. Loeb out of the shotgun again. Looks, has a man wide open down in the end zone. It's overthrown.
Great pressure applied by number 22, Ray Livingston, from the outside. He came in and put a licking on Loeb just as he delivered the ball.
Ball was well overthrown. That time Jimmy Jones was the intended receiver, covered by Terry Hurt. A lot of people going both ways for both teams out here tonight. Out of the shotgun again. Curtis Loeb back. Lots of pressure being applied. Runs away from the pressure. He's got some room down the field. Cuts to the outside, cuts back in. Loeb still on his feet, all the way down to the 4-yard line with 18 seconds to go. The clock will stop now as they move the chains in the first down. Loeb on an excellent run that time. And one thing that the Gophers did do that time is they picked up downfield and got some good downfield blocks to break him loose that time as well.
Loeb doing an excellent job running with the ball. That's just adds another threat to this Gresham offense. He's a good passer, again leading the league with 8 touchdown passes, but he's also a threat up when he runs the ball. However, I would suggest you might want to hold on to the ball a little bit more careful. He was kind of waving it around there towards the end as he was trying to gain every extra inch that he possibly could get on that run. That's something that could turn a big play into something positive for the defense.
So the ball is marked at the 4-yard line, and Gresham takes another timeout here with 18 seconds to go. First down and goal from the 4. And the Gophers, they're going to want to at least try to get a field goal out of this, Chris. And of course, Rich Nevis, very capable place kicker. And so they're going to have to be a little bit careful of how they manage the clock here. I think that was their last timeout.
That was their last timeout.
So the pressure of the Barlow Bruins is going to be crucial here, as now they go out of the split back formation. Back to pass, looks outside. Oh, and just off the fingertips of Rich Nevis, a little bit short on the throw that time, but a pretty good throw and a well-conceived pattern. Really, that ball was thrown well before Nevis ever turned around to look for it, so a good timing pattern.
Well, again, that was also, it could have been a dangerous play had the linebacker been able to anticipate that, because that ball stayed up in the air just a little bit long, and it was to the wide side of the field, so it was in the air a long time.
So the Gophers now will have second down and 4. Out of the I formation this time. Travis Churchill, tailback. Loeb looking to the outside. He's got a man open out there. Catching the ball for a touchdown is Jimmy Jones. And that was an outstanding catch by Jones, having to turn all the way around. Loeb did a nice job of floating it out there, but it was directly over his head, and Jones doing a great job turning around, getting his hands on it, and there was good defensive coverage out there as well, but Loeb throwing the ball where it had to be, and Jones doing what he had to make the catch. So
here you get to see the replay. Loeb, just a nice timing pattern to the outside. Jimmy Jones able to get there before the defensive back. Nice pitch, nice catch. Touchdown, Gophers.
Kerry King, number 42, really had pretty good coverage on the play, but the ball was well thrown right over his outstretched arms. And Jimmy Jones doing a great job of turning his body around, concentrating, and making that catch. Nevis now to try the extra point. Ball is down, it's up, and it's good. So the Gresham Gophers, with 9 seconds to go here in the first half, up their lead now to 14-3 over the Barlow Bruins. And very, very impressive drive by the Gophers. Let's take a break, and we'll be back right after this.